art material in art therapy is something that can be beneficial, but it can also distract and disrupt the whole creative flow. So it's something that has to be chosen very carefully. So I want to go into the qualities of some materials, and this means that I look at the different traces it leaves on the paper or wherever you use it on, and different things to note when using this. So pencils, colored pencils, felt tip, fine liner, rollerball pens, all those markers and glitter pens, they can give you different thicknesses of the line that you're creating. A characteristic of those pens are that the more pressure you will create, the more thicker the line will be, and the less pressure, the softer the line can be. So you can create different shades with those pens. This can be used on color paper, cardboard, drawing paper, any kind of paper basically. Next, I want to talk about wax crayons, oil pastels, chalk, all these kind of pastels. They have in common that they have a broad side, which can make a big surface, and you can also use the tip, which creates smaller lines. And also a quality of them is that they can be smudged, so you can create smooth areas and transitions, and also areas that are very light and soft. Use this mostly on also drawing paper, but a little bit thicker one, so that you can smudge it better. Can use also cardboard. Next, I want to also mention scratching tools. So these can be used when you want to work in layers of colors on different plates or papers. These are called scratch pictures. Those scratch pictures are made when you apply like a waxy, what we mentioned before, and then you layer it with a black or some darker color, and then you can use needles or nails to scratch away the layer. This material you can use on cardboard or wood or the paper with different layers of color. Next, I want to tell you about graphite blocks or chalk blocks. These can also make you work in broad areas, on big areas. You can also rub them and you can transfer textures. So there is a common technique when you lie down a coin under your paper, you can then transfer its relief on the paper. Mostly you can use that on drawing paper, but also on cardboard and thicker paper. Charcoal is a great material, but it breaks very easily, so it's a bit frustrating to work with. You can draw with the tip or with the edges, and you can rub the dust and you can smudge it with your fingers. But you should also note that you should always fix it with hairspray, because otherwise it will smudge and then you might not like what comes out of this anymore. Also important to cover your tables and wash your hands longer afterwards. Then next is ink or dyes. They have the qualities that you can use different ink brushes to work with. Or you can even make your own ink brush. You can be very creative with this. This is to use on a bit thicker paper, because the ink will stain through to the other pages that are underneath if you're using a block. But there is also special Japanese paper, or you can even use it on newspaper or cardboard. And also note that this will stain your fingers, and you should also protect your clothes from this and your tables, and work carefully. Watercolors or acrylics, they have a very delicate quality, and because you can use very fine lines, but you can also brush broad areas with thicker brushes, and you can create smooth transitions. These colors you have to use on sturdy paper, or especially watercolor. There is watercolor paper to use, and it requires a good hand and eye coordination to use. And then the last one I want to mention is things from the outside: branches, stones, leaves. So these are good to create linear traces by placing a stick and stick next to each other. You can create lines, or you can design a pattern, or also figures, and you can build sculptures with those kind of materials. A popular way to use stones and things from the outside are mandalas or mosaics, and you have the possibility to use them outside on a big surface, the ground, the grass, but you can also use them inside on a white sheet of paper. It is up to you. Thanks for joining me in this first part of our exploration into art therapy materials. In part 2 next week, I will be getting into the therapeutic benefits of these materials. So if you're curious about that and why certain materials are used in art therapy, or how to choose the right one for yourself and for others, be sure to come back for that. And make sure to also subscribe so you don't miss it, and feel free to share in the comments which materials you're most curious about or what you like to see covered in future videos. So see you next week. Bye.